Starting with schedule tolerance, we know that opening and closing times are rarely exact. They may happen a bit earlier or later than the scheduled time. To prevent false alarms from these minor deviations, we need to set up tolerance times. You can configure tolerance times for both openings and closings with two options, before and after. If the system disarms before the scheduled time, we can set a tolerance period. For instance, if we set a 15-minute tolerance, the person responsible for disarming the alarm panel has a 15-minute window to do so early without causing an alarm. However, if they try to disarm it 20 minutes early, an alarm event will be triggered. Within the 15-minute window, it's considered a normal opening. Similarly, for late openings, you can specify whether or not an alarm event should be generated if the system is disarmed outside of the scheduled time. For example, if the system is disarmed 35 minutes after the scheduled time, an alarm event will be triggered or not, depending on the chosen setting. This configuration applies to closing times as well. You can set tolerance periods for closing earlier or later than the scheduled time. This tolerance setup ensures that minor deviations in schedule do not trigger unnecessary alarms while still maintaining security and accountability. Let's dive into the options section, which provides crucial settings for managing out-of-schedule events and control modes. The first option, Off-Schedule Events Control, determines whether the system will monitor events on days without a predefined schedule, such as Sundays. If set to Yes, any activity, like an opening, on an unscheduled day, for example, Sunday, will trigger a verifiable event notification in the monitoring center. If set to No, no event control will be executed for days without a schedule. Next, we have the Schedule Control mode, which can be set to range or cycle. The range mode monitors specific time ranges for both opening and closing activities. For example, if the opening time is set to 8 a.m. with a tolerance of 15 minutes before and after, the system will only control and generate events within this range. Both the opening and closing times, along with their tolerances, will be monitored separately, and any activity within these specified ranges will generate events that can be reviewed and handled by an operator. The cycle mode controls events for the entire cycle rather than specific time slots. For instance, if the business is set to operate from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., any events occurring within this time frame will not generate any verifiable opening or closing events. Essentially, the system will not log or trigger alerts for events during operational hours. Typically, range mode is preferred because businesses usually open once and do not close until the official closing time. However, the choice between range and cycle modes can be adjusted based on the specific needs of each account. Additionally, there are settings for auto-processing alerts when expected actions occur after a delay. Auto-process not yet open. For example, if a business is scheduled to open by 9 a.m. and has a tolerance period of 10 minutes, the system expects an open event by 9:10 a.m. If this event isn't received by 9:10 a.m., an alert will be generated indicating that the business has not yet opened. When the auto-process not yet open option is enabled, if the open event is eventually received after the not yet open alert, the system will automatically process this alert, eliminating the need for manual intervention by the operator. Auto-process not yet closed. Similarly, if a business is supposed to close and arm its alarm system by 6 p.m. with a tolerance window of 10 minutes, an alert will be generated at 6:10 p.m. if no close event is received, indicating that the business has not yet closed. If the auto-process not yet closed option is enabled and the close event is later received, the system will automatically process the not yet closed alert without requiring operator action. These settings help ensure timely monitoring and response to deviations in opening and closing schedules. By enabling these auto-processing features, the monitoring center can efficiently manage alerts, ensuring that any irregularities are addressed promptly and operational efficiency is maintained. You can also configure periods for vacations. For instance, if your business will be closed for the entire month of January, you can set the holiday period from January 1st to January 31st. This tells the system not to expect any events from the alarm panel during this period. If any opening or closing occurs during this time, an alert will be sent to the monitoring center.